Hi, Chris.
Robert.
How are you?
Really good.
Boy, it's Sunday night. We've sort of put this off a little bit this week, but we're finally here, and we're going to do the weekly dose.
You put it off on Friday. I put it off on Saturday.
Yeah.
Do you know why?
You put it off on Thursday,
too. Do you know
too.
why? Because we're looking over my couple, Rob, aren't we? Aren't we?
Are we?
Aren't we, though? Just say it. We are. You didn't want to make love on Friday. I didn't want to make love on Saturday.
Ew.
We're making love on
Jesus.
Sunday. That's what it's like.
My God. I got 3 stories this week.
Don't bro.
One is a good story. The other 2, meh.
Okay.
Just general news.
You know what? You know the way I'm going with this whole thing, Rob? I love your news. It should be called the Weekly Dose and other shit that Chris talks about. Mine's isn't new. Well, mine's isn't news of sorts. But anyway, do you want to go first? I want to go first this time. You went first last time.
Okay, you go first, Chris.
I know you're all primed and ready, and your Coke levels are probably coming to a peak. We can't say that, can we? Because
my Coca-Cola levels.
Yeah, I was going to say
I've been drinking Coca-Cola all day.
Fizzy drinks,
red Coca-Cola.
There are other Pepsi drinks out there, of course. Of course, I'm only joking, guys. For people who watch, just say no. Drugs are for mugs.
We do not advocate drugs whatsoever.
But do you know what, Rob? If you had a choice between cocaine and Coca-Cola, which would you go for, health-wise?
Neither.
Good answer.
Broccoli.
Spinach. Marjoram. I know this weekend. Okay,
broccoli.
Here's my first story of great importance. Now, we talked about this slightly before, but anyway, this will be slightly more in depth. The art newspaper, I can't get away from it, Rob. I can't get away from it. When I'm walking or browsing, it's there. So, analog to digital, photo analog to digital. See what's happening there? Photo London goes online as director slams UK government's communication with arts organisations.
Oh, is this? Yes.
Isn't it great? Isn't it great that in 2000, what year are we, 2020? It's very hard to tell. Maybe you're not...
Is this about going back to school? And
No, it's about, and I'll paraphrase here. I think I'm paraphrasing. I left school at 15. I don't really know what paraphrasing is, but I'm going to pretend I'm paraphrasing. I'm reading out words other people have said. Is that paraphrasing?
If you put them in different order, I think, yeah.
Oh really? Well,
yeah.
Oh God.
Because if you put them in the same order, you're quoting.
Oh, Jesus, I want to paraphrase. I'll quote and then I'll paraphrase, okay? It's
you do that.
I'm going to quote by saying pretty disastrous, and then I'm going to paraphrase by saying disastrously pretty. How's that? It doesn't work, does it?
Okay.
Jesus, I should have tried harder in school. But this is Michael Benson, who's the director of Photo London, describes UK government's shitty attempts at trying to communicate with cultural organisations. He says, and I am quoting, "The government's messaging has been terrible. They couldn't have set out to do a worse job." I think I might have paraphrased there. Mm-hmm. So basically, they've had the 2 attempts to go at it for real, live, people there, everybody looking awkward, masks and stuff, but enjoying the circumstances. The government have fucked up, and they've now had to go online, purely down to the government's inability to scratch their arse with their elbow. What do you think of that? And I'm not trying to scratch much, I'm just moving my seat because it's uncomfortable.
Are you on the wooden chair?
No.
Thank you.
Actually, a Kate plastic chair.
Thank you.
Okay. So there we go. Essentially, now this has come to a surprise to most of our listeners. The British government haven't a fucking clue. What do you think of that? Not a clue.
Go figure.
Not a clue.
Go figure.
Not from all the different advice we're getting in general life. But, they've had time to organise stuff for the arts. Have they? Have they? Shit. They've done absolutely nothing but confuse and upset and annoy. There you go. I was talking to a composer friend today, and I asked him how he was doing, and he says work was coming back, and then when we walked away about 5 steps, he turned around and he said, ish. Now he's saying ish either because he's getting it good, and I'm not, or he's getting it the same as I am and he's lying. I don't know. I was just happy that the ish came out because I felt really concerned for my livelihood.
I thought you were going to talk about that story of who is the minister of something or other, and he basically told all artists should just retrain themselves.
Oh, the Chancellor of the Exchequer. Yeah. So I read all my friends now. I'm sure you're getting the same thing on Instagram. Are putting in their details, and it's giving them what they can be, what they can retrain as, and it's hilarious. It's hilarious. It gives you a way.
Is there like a calculator or something?
Let's find it and put it out.
Oh, okay. We'll put the link in the description.
Yeah. I don't know what I could retrain as.
I'd love to know what I can repurpose.
Jesus, Rob, I could tell you. You would really fit in. You know those jails in South America with the really heavily tattooed men?
As a prison guard?
Oh, just as a sort of empathetic friend, let's say.
As a prisoner?
No, just a friend who comes in and just gives them buoyant advice.
As the warden?
No, not somebody so close to the authorities. Somebody who's just...
The lunch lady? Am I working in the cafeteria?
If you want to be a lunch lady, I can kind of see that Grayson Perry / South American prisons. He's missed a trick there.
Who is Grace and Perry? Who are they?
It's not Grace and Perry. It's Grayson Perry. It's one person. It's a man who is a genius. Oh, my God. Well, where have you been?
Here.
Yeah, in fairness. That's as good.
For 10 months.
That's as good an excuse. Who is Grayson Perry? I'm going to send him that. I'm his friend on Twitter. I'm going to say I have a friend who hasn't got a fucking clue who you are. And he's talented.
Who you guys are. Who are they? Come on. Tell me.
It's Grayson.
Is it like Mortimer and Reeves or
Vic Mortimer?
What was it? Hugh Laurie and who was that? Hugh Laurie and
Jesus, what?
Abbott and Costello.
I'm going to say this, Rob.
Laurel and Hardy.
In your chosen topic, okay.
Dean Martin and Jerry Lee Lewis.
Your chosen topic.
Not Jerry.
Nobody is going to talk you
Jerry
into a corner. But once you step out of it, by Christ, does it fall apart? By Christ, does it fall apart? Lightroom. There's nobody going to take the piss out of you. Artists who dress up as from a female perspective, you're in trouble. Because that's what Grayson Perry, that's what both of them do.
Is it like a horse? Like, do they dress up like a horse and one guy's in the front and one guy's in the back?
It's like exactly that. And whenever people don't get it right, they ask.
And they play the elephant song when they come on stage?
Christ. Do you know what's happened? We went down the Monty Python.
Yep.
That's what's happened. And that's your fault.
And that's just from talking about the government.
That's from talking about the Chancellor.
That's what happens, man. You go off on this wild tangent, and all of a sudden you're talking about circuses and clowns.
No, that's brain control.
Subliminal. It's totally subliminal.
That's brain control.
It's totally subliminal.
Oh, my word. Here, I haven't checked my face today.
Checked your face?
I haven't looked at myself in the mirror. I could have all sorts on me. I kissed Liam before I went to bed.
We have one mirror in this house.
And I'd say, not a reflection does it fucking cast.
It's one mirror too many.
Well, I'm fair.
It's covered in cobwebs.
You do yourself a disservice. From the waist up, you're beautiful.
Mm. Oh, yeah? Mm-hmm. What happens below that? Just falls apart?
It's a car crash, Rob. People can't see it. You should stand up now and give people a...
Crazy legs.
Crazy.
Those crazy legs, like two wet fucking pieces of lasagna.
You're making me hungry.
We had curry for the 5th night in a row.
Really?
Yep.
What did you have?
I made a vat of curry on Wednesday.
A vat of curry? You sound like somebody who could kill somebody, dismember them, put them in that vat, and eat them for a week.
No. We're plant-based. Come on. We're plant-based.
Just the pants. You just eat the pants. It's far too much pant talk in this.
So, Tether Tools.
Rob.
The company that makes all these little different tethering accessories.
Is that one company?
Yeah, Tether Tools. Yeah, it's one. It's not Tether and Tools. They're not Monty Python.
Grace and Perry.
or Abbott Costello. So Tether Tools has released an app that allows you to use it as a plug-in in Lightroom to tether your Sony camera to Lightroom. Now, I know there's going to be lots of people that say, well, you can do that in Capture One anyways. But the fact is even 99% of the people out there who use Capture One agree that the user interface stinks. It's not intuitive. It's difficult to find different things that you want to do. And it's difficult to repeat, and et cetera, et cetera. So it's great that now you can shoot tethered in the studio with Sony straight to Lightroom.
Do you think that...
And you don't have to use a hot folder or anything like that. It
just straight in?
Yep.
How much is it?
It's great. That's a good question. It'll be in the description.
Rob, that is shoddy researching.
That's a lot of research.
Dude,
shoddy. Come on, man. I've been waiting for fucking 4 days here. I've been researching for 4 days to find something that's interesting.
Over-research, that's what's happened.
But it's great for all those Sony users.
What?
It's great for all those Sony users.
I love Sony. Well, I'm not even going to joke with you. I love Sony. You know what I did today? You know what I did not yesterday, before? Schoolboy Air.
Time lapses?
Oh, the time lapses, Rob. I will never forgive you.
You did some great time lapses, Chris. That's fucking great.
Lapses. They are. Rob, for anybody who doesn't know, I wouldn't be into time lapses. That stuff was for other cookies. It wasn't for me. People listen to the Beach Boys and all.
Are you not enjoying them?
No, I'm bloody loving them. That's what's happened.
Doesn't it feel like really like wow, like you're doing something?
I'm gonna make a brilliant
15 minutes.
I'm gonna make a brilliant link back to what you said earlier. Broccoli. I feel like broccoli. I feel like I'm making movies. See what I did there? I'm good.
I like them. I mean, if you can do one really well and smart, and you can anticipate the motion and the movement going through the frame, I mean, it's great. And the fact that you can shoot in RAW and do like all sorts of crazy stuff with the RAW files.
And also, Rob, here's the good thing: you got the mountain. I have to say, landscape's really got me at the minute. It's really got me. Really got me.
Good. That's great.
So you go up meditative, all the mindfulness, everything else that you and I chat about. But you go up, you take the shots. Let's hear out and about. You take shots. Now, whenever you're out, that there's maybe, I don't know, half a dozen shots you can take from a certain angle whenever you're there. That changes whenever you do whenever you go into the other. You know what I mean? You set the camera up and you really are judging light. You're waiting for that, the clouds and all sorts. Now, there will be those out there, those purists. Dirty purists who are like, oh, it looks spectacular. And I think for getting traffic to your, when we talk business, getting traffic to your site, it's...
Oh, definitely. Moving images 10 to 1.
10 to 1, yeah.
Yep.
I've had more comments today on, now I have to say for those, because Rob, it was awkward. I took the photographs, but you put it together because I couldn't get it sorted out. I've since got it sorted out.
That's all right, man. It's just...
No, I know, but I didn't...
It takes 2 seconds.
How do I explain that on Instagram without making me look like a dick? You know what I'm saying? Thanks, Uncle Rob, for putting my pants up because I couldn't reach my knee. That sort of way. So I put it up, and then you'd liked it, and I was like, oh, God, I've offended Rob.
Dude.
I worry about that stuff. I don't want to offend you. No, especially not from your problem. Your issue. Don't talk about it, Rob. I don't want to talk about it.
No issues. What's your next story, Chris?
Rob, I'm looking up something now. Let me just tell you what my next story is. Bear with a second. Okay. My next story is simply now listen to this. Are you listening? No.
I'm here. I'm here.
I'm going to attempt to pronounce something. Okay.
Did you get Google to pronounce it first? No.
I'm going to.
Just go for it.
I'm not going for it. I'm going to get Google to pronounce it. Here we go. No, we have to go through 2 minutes of ads. Right, listen.
Deutsche Börse.
There you go. That was easy.
It just keeps doing it. In fairness, it won't stop. They just keep doing it. Listen.
Deutsche Börse.
Now, what I did there, Rob.
Okay, so
right,
Deutsche
so
Börse.
what I did is I tried to do that phonetically, and it's Deutsche. Yeah, it does. Deutsche Börse. I haven't got it right, but I couldn't remember it.
Chris.
Yeah.
Chris.
What?
Is your microphone rubbing against your beard again?
I don't think so, Rob.
Okay, good. So what's the rest of your story?
The microphone's in my pants. The story is simple, okay? The Deutsche Börse Prize, okay? Every year I excitedly wait with anticipation to see who's been nominated. And then that whittles down to who's the last four? Who's the last four? What are they at? Am I in the right, am I in the right track with my life? Let me look at the stuff and see what's going on. So, four artists for the Deutsche Börse Prize, where Photography Foundation Prize 2020, were Mohammed Bourouissa, that's probably, you know why I pronounce it, it's probably desperate, Anton Custers, Mark Neville, and Claire Strand. Okay, see how whenever it gets more to my whiteness, I get easier to speak? Jesus, what is that about? Yeah, that's stuff we have to focus on. But September the 14th, 2020, Mohammed was rightfully, in my humble opinion, was announced the winner of the work's fantastic. So prestigious 30 grand prize. What would you do with that, Rob?
Wow, that's great.
Would you give me a £5,000 that? Because we're all in trouble.
Well, what did he shoot? What was the subject matter?
No, this is the thing. I'm not going to talk about Mohammed. He's had his day in the sun. Let him go. Let him go. Okay? What I'm interested...
Well, what's the story about then?
The story is about the runners-up. The story is about the runners-up, Rob.
What, all the white people?
Oh, God.
Have you discounted the first place winner, and you're now going to talk about all the white people who were the runners-up?
Oh, Jesus. Inadvertently, I do. I have made a glaring error, haven't I?
Yoinks.
Well, no, I can talk about Mohammed's work, of course, but I think that's what, go and look at it. It's a prestigious. He won the bloody thing, Rob. I'm not being racist. He's won the bloody thing. Of course, he's won the thing.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, but
I'm glad he won.
But very few people go in and start looking around at the people who didn't. You know what I'm saying? The runners up. It's not a white thing. It's not a white thing. Jesus, I'm already red.
Chris,
but I guarantee
my
I'm
God.
redder.
What are you? Okay, we need to Okay, how's the rest of this story going to go?
Fucking badly.
Are you good?
No.
Are you good? Are you going to Can we finish this off?
Yes.
Gracefully?
Yes.
Okay, good. Go for it.
My dear friend Rob, who points out my non-existent bloody racism. I'll tell you what. I could turn in Canada right now, Rob. What's happened? Oh.
What, Canada?
I could turn in Canada.
Oh, there's always crap happening in Canada.
I mean you.
There's always crap.
You. Okay, so listen. Go and look, okay. Blue Skies Project, okay, Anton Custers. Go and look at it. In fact, go and look at it and see if the decision was right. Not based on that white and... Not based...
You brought it up!
You brought it up!
You brought it up!
Maybe Mohammed...
You started saying Mohammed and I need to learn how to say...
Maybe Mohammed isn't white, Rob.
Well, then...
Or not, maybe he isn't black.
What does it matter? It's just a name.
You started it. You rewinded and see when it started. You put yourself into a world of trouble. All of a sudden, Grace and Perry and other people are going to be after you.
What was that? Was that show in the 90s? Was that like Grace and...
You know what?
With the gay male guy and the ginger girl? Grace and...
No, that's...
Grace and Perry? Grace and...
Rob, you know what's going to happen now? What's going to happen now?
Anyways.
I'm going to get him on. You know who I haven't mentioned edges, by the way?
Who?
Martin Scar. Haven't mentioned him. Martin Scar.
Oh! By the way, Chris, did you know that the Queen did her whole MBE and knighthoods and stuff this week?
Rob.
And did you know who got an award?
Mervyn from BX, because he's the most deserving photographer in Belfast.
Absolutely. Mervyn has now become Sir Mervyn.
You didn't know his surname.
Smith? What's Mervyn's last name?
Smith.
Oh my God. Is it Smith? Smythe? Smith?
Say Smythe.
You don't
I
know?
didn't know I didn't know anybody's name, Rob. That's why I have to go into Google.
Sir Mervyn of Belfast Exposed.
Mervyn, listen, this is a serious note. Not that I agree.
Presenting Sir
I don't
Mervyn.
agree with any British honours to be no harm doing. That's not me being.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of backhanded to people who live in Ireland, Northern Ireland.
Yeah, it's not for me.
Or sorry, Northern
But
Ireland.
Mervyn should whatever the Irish version of that is. Mervyn should be getting it. 20.
He's been doing it for what?
3 millennia.
Like 30 years.
A long time.
30 years. You know,
at ground level.
Like daily, dude, daily.
A grind. Not to him.
Drives
not
in.
to him.
He loves it.
Mervyn, and for anybody that doesn't know, go look up you won't even find Mervyn. Go and look up Belfast Exposed and see what Mervyn does. Mervyn does stuff.
Is he even on there?
Yeah, no, he's in the team for sure. But he is.
We got to get him a better headshot.
Is it not good?
Well, I'm just imagining. We got to get him a better one.
Mervyn listens to this.
I don't care.
You live.
He can have a better one. We should do a better one for him because he always deserves a better one.
Rob, I love the way you get a very tiny spoon and dig yourself out of big, massive holes really, really quickly. Mervyn should, for anybody that doesn't know, there's people watching here from Canada, America, and Australia and everywhere else. Mervyn is a guy who works at a gallery in Belfast. And during
street level.
And during the Troubles, all the way through, Mervyn has been going out to communities, Protestant communities, Catholic communities, other communities, and saving. I talked to him this other day. I was talking about him the other day in front of him, making a huge difference to people's lives. Now, if you only save one person's life in a year with what he does, that's 30 people. That's a classroom full of people.
Yep.
But also, it's a whole rake of stuff. We should do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do a whole podcast on Mervyn. Once we get out there, we'll get Mervyn on, let him chat, because he has some great stories. I'm not even going to go on the rest of the stuff.
Remember, our camera's only recording.
I know, listen, right, so Mervyn, anyway, but here, listen, he's a great guy, and so I don't know what you're talking about there with the Queen's List. I don't really give a shit about the MBEs and OBEs and all that sort of stuff.
Come on, Chris.
But I don't, honestly don't. But I have to say that Mervyn deserves what do you call the award in France? Because I take that.
The Charles de Gaulle.
Croissant de... Is that racist, me? Couldn't be racist. Mark.
The Eiffel Tower de Medal.
That's racist. Oh, my God.
How is that racist? Anyways, so Chris, we've got 9 minutes left here.
Mark Neville. Okay, let me recap. Anton Custers, Mark Neville, Claire Strand.
That was a wide tangent.
Go have a peek. Okay, my personal favourite. Oh God, I think it's Claire.
It's Anton?
Oh, I think it's Claire.
I thought it was Anton. God, the tones in Anton's photographs.
I'm torn between.
Are you sure?
I'm torn between Mark Neville because he does intelligent, clever work, as they all. But for me, Claire's great. Her stuff, Sitting Snake, was incredible. But anyway, I digress. Now let me just go to my very next. And if you're looking, there's also a guy called Michael Aronowski who did a thing, Go Home Polish. I'll not talk about this week. I'll talk about it next week. As we talk about it this week, but you threw us right off with all the other stuff you're talking about. That is basically
me.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
That's me.
All right. Woo!
Are you clapping your hands? Tell me you're not standing up and just...
No, that's my butt cheeks.
I was going to say, tell me it's not your butt cheeks.
Okay, so I got two quick stories.
Yeah.
What do I got for time here?
I don't know. 3 minutes.
Oh my God, I've got 5 minutes. Okay, so first story is there's a company out there called Firefly. They do a lot of drone stuff and stabilization stuff. They've created a new camera, and I'm telling you guys, these are my top 3 stories out of the hundreds of stories in photography this week. These are my top 3. This is what's worthy. Yeah, and these are my top 3. The first one was the Tether Tools, which was
good. That's good.
Whatever. The next one is Firefly has released a new camera. okay? For 10 grand American. It's called the Wave. And it does silly high-speed photography, high-speed video, okay? Yeah. Has a Super 35, so that's, about that big. Super 35, global. I'm showing you, dude. Like, look.
Show me again.
Can you not see this?
Say it again. Show me.
Look. It's right here, right in front of you.
See it.
Okay, good. Super 35 global shutter. It does 2K at 1,461 frames per second. Okay, that's pretty crazy.
That's pretty crazy.
And it'll do 4K at 422 frames per second.
Listen, Rob, that's the devil's work.
That's
Step away from that.
For 10 grand?
10 grand.
For 10
grand, you're selling your soul. You sign a contract for your soul. Don't do it.
Well, look at it this way. If you wanted to buy a Phantom Flex camera, okay, those are if you've ever seen Lars von Trier, what was that movie with Kirsten Dunst and Kiefer Sutherland?
Won't you get stuff stuck in her hair? No.
Anyways, the first beginning scenes were all shot with the Phantom. That camera is $110,000. Start out. Like, that's the base model. That's where it starts.
That's a lot of money. Are you there?
Please like, share, subscribe. You know it's worth it.
He knows it's worth it. You know it's worth it. I, on the other hand, am on the edge of knowing it's worth it.
Hey, Chris, we're back.
Rob, did you have to pay?
No, I had to get a refill.
You say that.
I had to crawl under the desk because it rolled underneath the desk. So, Chris.
Poor Rob. Yeah.
My next story here. So, if you were to photograph 800 naked women, and then,
what do you mean?
Well, that's what you do. You photograph naked women. That's what you like to do. You photograph naked women, and you wanted to create a book.
Yeah.
And one of the models, who you shot 5 years previously, found out and said, "Please don't include me in the book." And you said, "Well, as a matter of fact, I can't include you because I've got a model release." And you said, "Well, I've kind of got a new life. I didn't go down the modeling, route. I've got a new life. I've got a family.
I'm a Christian.
Well, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you said, "Well, I've photographed 800 girls in the past 5 years, and I want to include your photographs." And you did it anyways. You included this girl in the book. So who's in the right and who's in the wrong? Who's morally right? Who's morally wrong? That's my next news story. This gentleman has done this, and he's put himself basically out there in the public to be judged.
No way.
Oh yeah.
Well, it's quite easy.
Yeah.
By the way, I photograph naked men, Rob, not naked women. Women hold no secret for me anymore. I'm more interested in the male body.
Okay.
Just so you know. Good for him. But what a silly twat. At the same point, of course he's going to be shot down. Well, I imagine there'll be loads of people who'll be like, "Oh yeah, you have the right to do it, whatever," because they'll all be mostly wankers. There might be just some misguided people who could probably talk around. If somebody doesn't want to be included, if somebody writes to you and says they don't want to be included in the book, not that you do salacious stuff anyway, but if you were doing it, of course your sensibilities are okay. Of course, you've done 800. I'm sure there's a pool of other girls who'd want to be included.
That's the whole thing. I mean, if you announce that you shot 800 other girls, why would you not just take something else? The poor girl wants to
America.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, maybe they'll give him an OBE. One behind the ear, Rob. the Belfast thing, one behind the ear.
So, yeah, I've seen the photographs. They're nothing special. You know, they're slightly less risque than Terry Richardson's stuff, but
Okay, yeah.
I mean, it's just it's not art. Like what he's doing is not art. So,
well, the premise is if somebody, even if you're Lord Litchfield or you're, Helmut Newton or whoever you are, and somebody writes to you and says, please, please don't do it. The courtesy is that you don't do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I as a commercial advertising photographer, everybody signs a model release because I have to. And after the client uses those images and their usage terms are up, those images are fair game for any other client who might want to use them.
Yeah, of course.
Now, when somebody does approach me to use those photographs for another purpose, I always contact the model and say, this is what's going on. These are the circumstances. This is the product. This is what they're offering. Are you interested? I wouldn't do it any other way. I mean, we're a team. We're all a team. We're all working together. Why would I sell you down the river?
Rob, there's this incredibly old-fashioned thing called trust that has fallen slightly by the wayside, not with us, but with a lot of people. And trust and all professionality. These are words that some people might not know. And if you want to look it up in the dictionary for those who I'm talking to, just go to T for trust and professionality. That's P and it's PR. Okay, so I'll give you a bit of a clue. Why would anybody, but then put it out to the public vote? Now, I'm sorry that, I don't often do wanky signs, but that is just unbelievable. What they're trying to do is, it's either a very clever marketing ploy or he's just genuinely a twat.
I'd say he's a twat.
Yeah. So either or, he's misguided and wrong.
Yep. I mean, the poor girl, she was 19 years old. She wanted to become a model, She did what she thought she needed to do, and then 5-6 years later, she's going to be, judged upon those images. Come on, give her a break.
By the age of 19, I'd been in 5 calendars, I was always Mr. fucking October.
Well, come on.
You know why?
I can't tell you how many German Scheissen movies I've been in.
Scheissen? What's a Scheissen movie? Oh, Rob, no, because I'm going to Google it. And then you can't unsee stuff. I'm not Googling. I'll ask Leah to look at it. She can tell me what the crack is. I'll just go by. I'll tell her to give me a thumbs up or down. The whole thing.
I don't know if my real name was used in it though. I don't think it was. So,
Bertie Durstono?
No.
I can't call you Bertie because you told me not to one time. You were annoyed about it.
No.
You know why? I know what it is. Dirty Bertie.
Chris,
Dirty Bertie.
Have we talked about how good your time lapses were?
Rob, we haven't. But I'm going to be honest with you. I am quite happy with them.
Yes, very
Did
good.
you see how?
And I think we need to invite everybody that's listening. We're going to be doing more Lightroom, workflow workshops, as well as lots more landscape and street photography and Photoshop workshops. So please, if you like this video, like it, share it, and subscribe to the channel.
Because if you don't, you basically might as well be photographing 800 girls and then using one of them. That's what you're doing to us. You're using this for information, but not
subscribing.
Not subscribing, which is the same as abusing a model release, isn't it?
Yeah.
In anybody's language.
I feel so dirty now. I feel so dirty. Jeez. Let's go have a shower.
Rob, I'm 53. Rob, don't make me picture you.
I have to have a shower.
I'm going to say this out loud.
Don't. Stop saying things out loud.
I'm going to say this. I am always imagining you, if you were having a shower, cowboy boots, okay, filled with frothy soap, okay, white Speedos, okay, white Stetson. The Stetson's
I actually have a transparent Speedo.
Really?
Nope.
I'm very, very, very 80s. I quite like that.
Collector's item. It was made in 1988, I think. They only made them for like 6 months.
Do you know where the seam goes on them? Wherever the seam goes on them, if you get a lighter, okay, and hold it against them, just for the right amount of time, you can stick that back. It'll never be the same. It'll always have a bit of a bubble from, you look like, I don't know, maybe somebody from Birmingham. Let's say, I shouldn't say Birmingham. Brighton.
Racist.
Belfast. You can't be racist saying Birmingham or Brighton or Belfast. God, I could say Brighton, maybe I sound anti-gay, which of course I'm not. But we now have one viewer, okay?
Well, we've had like 5 people unsubscribe already.
No. Have we?
Well, from listening to this.
Oh, already. But at least we've got one really good, solid viewer in Mississippi. You know what I'm saying?
Chris.
Brian.
It's been great.
No, listen, I want to say something.
Okay,
first.
Okay, go ahead.
Mm-hmm. It's very, very short and it's very, very serious, okay? I have a friend a Canadian friend, would you believe, from Montreal, called Luna, who sadly lost her dad 2 days ago, okay? But we're friends on Facebook, and Instagram, and we became friends because of my dad's work, okay? Because she's been caring for mum and dad for a long 12 years, selflessly. Mm-hmm. Now, that doesn't mean that her work's going to be good, of course, but her work is good. She's been sending me private albums on Facebook. And not only is the work incredible, okay, her stuff on Facebook's incredible, but the work is just so utterly touching, okay? So, why would I do this? But Luna, it's Luna, I'm going to get this completely right, because if I don't get my pronunciations right, it's Luna, Lunadado on Facebook. Mm-hmm. You won't see any of those photographs, but hopefully she'll make work around what she's doing, because it's powerful, important, and this isn't the time to say aesthetically beautiful, but it's aesthetically beautiful. So anyway, there you go. Like that. Not a somber note. It's not a somber note. It's a
kind of somber.
It's kind of somber, but it doesn't. I don't mean it to be somber. You mentioned people passing it, of course it's going to be somber. But anyway, Rob, you need to stop calling me out.
What'd I do?
You said about me not talking about the winner of the.
I still think you should take the Lightroom workflow workshop that we offer. And when you finish that, maybe you should take the landscape workshop. It would be very good for you.
You know who you sound like? Chancellor of the Exchequer. You're trying to get me to retrain. Yeah. Never try. Don't get me to retrain. I'm good at being shit at mostly everything.
Thank you very much, Chris.
Rob.
It's been great.
Rob, no. Yeah, it has been great, but let me just, because I know we're not pushed for time, I'm going to say this to you. We did a landscape class last week. And
Chris, it was awesome. It was awesome.
What was it? It was contemporary landscape, but it was accessible. Somebody from Dublin said, what's accessible contemporary landscape? And I said, for people who have trouble getting access.
Mobility,
okay, building. So anyway, we did it, okay?
It was great.
And there was a guy called Tim in the course, okay? And Tim was brilliant.
Yep.
But Tim sent me, we had a conversation on the mountain, okay, on the mountain, about whenever I tell you I love you, and you don't repeat, you don't accept it gracefully, okay? Now, Tim was a fairly serious character. I think he was
very serious,
very serious, but cool, okay. But there was a bit of banter about it. What did Tim send me 2 days ago? He wrote me an Instagram thing saying, "I love you." So Rob, if Tim can do it, pardon me, who only met once. Pardon me. Oh my God. I burped twice. That's nerves.
Is that you?
Yeah, it was me. Surely you can say.
I thought that was your dog.
Christopher, I love you.
You're the best, Chris. You know it. You know it. I always say that.
Perfect.
You're the best.
You've made me burp 3 times.
You're the best.
Rob,
What more do you want? You're the best.
I want you to tell me you love me.
You're the best.
Whatever.
I'll see you next week, right?
You fucker. I'm not looking at you now. You know I have something to say.
Are you eating?
Yeah, I've got a cough. I've got a cough.
I can hear that.
A persistent cough.
I can hear whatever you're eating.
Oh my God, I have a persistent cough. I'm eating an Army and Navy sweet that my dad used to give me.
All right, Chris. I hear commotion. I hear commotion in the other room.
My other room?
No, my room. Okay. I'll talk to you next week.
You're so fucking odd. In a beautiful sense. Bye.
Bye.